Book 1, Chapter 31. You have 2 seconds to let him go. Christine let go of Dimitri and spun around to see a very pissed-off Rosalie. Dimitri coughed up blood as he slowly sat down, trying to pull out the knife. Dimitri, don't pull the knife out. It'll make it worse. Rosalie said softly, giving him a reassuring smile. He looked at her and nodded, letting go of the dagger. Rosalie focused on the shocked Christine, her eyes black. Rosalie slowly smiled, her eyes promising death. You think just because you killed Dimitri that you would own the pack? Christine swallowed. Of course. That's how it works, or it's passed down to an heir. Tsk, you're forgetting that there's his brothers, daughters, and me. An alpha female who could kill you easily. Dimitri watched as Rosalie stalked towards Christine, like she was stalking her own prey. Never would he ever think of her as terrifying, but now he did. Christine slowly backed away. I'm an alpha. You were until you rejected him. You weren't born an alpha. The strength doesn't stay with you, Rosalie explained. But you weren't expecting this, huh? Rosalie mused, her eyes holding dark amusement. Christine clenched her jaw. I'm the rightful Luna of this pack. Oh, then how come Sage and Sara say otherwise? How come you weren't here when I first came here? How come Dimitri told me you rejected him and left? Rosalie, Dimitri whispered. She glanced at him. Just hold on, please. She didn't say anything else as she shifted and lunged at Christine. Christine screamed in pain as Rosalie tore into her shoulder, desperately trying to claw Rosalie. Rosalie ignored her, though, and proceeded to dislocate the mutt's shoulder. Dimitri watched with shock for a moment. He then mimed, linked Xander and Damon. It only took a minute for the brothers to burst into the office, but it was enough time for Christine to shift and attack Rosalie. The she-wolves fought viciously, tearing through each other's flesh. Damon quickly grabbed Rosalie as Xander grabbed Christine. Rosalie, stop! It's okay. Xander has her now, Damon soothed, letting go of the large wolf. Rosalie stopped struggling and relaxed. When Damon let go, she turned and ran over to Dimitri. She shifted back and gently cupped his cheek, tears in her eyes. Dimitri smiled at her and weakly stroked her cheek. I'll be okay, baby girl, he whispered. She shook her head. You better be. He smiled a little before frowning. Cover your body, perverted twin over there. Oh, come on. Even when he's barely breathing, he still teases me. Damon whined as he helped Xander drag Christine out. 3 warriors are running up here to bring Dimitri to the infirmary, Xander said. Rosalie thanked him and quickly grabbed a blanket from the other couch. She wrapped it around herself as she sat beside Dimitri. He coughed up more blood and winced, once again gripping the dagger. Dimitri, no, Rosalie stated. He gave her a pleading look right as the warriors ran in. They carefully picked up their alpha, making sure to make it less painful for him. She silently followed them, completely forgetting that she was wrapped in a blanket. When they walked into the infirmary, Dimitri was swiftly rushed away to surgery. Catherine's eyes widened when she saw Rosalie's bloody form wrapped with a blanket. Xavier, can I have your shirt? She asked. The man looked up, quickly noticing the tired Rosalie. He took off his shirt and handed it to Catherine. Catherine walked up to Rosalie and smiled softly. Put this on. I'm going to get a doctor to clean your wounds, she whispered. Rosalie frowned. He's going to be okay, right? I can't lose him. I love him. Catherine's eyes widened. He'll be fine. He's a very strong man. A knife won't kill him, but he's going to need his girl healthy and strong so she can help him. Rosalie gave her a thankful smile before grabbing the shirt. We should have killed Christine, her wolf grumbled. We will, Rosalie replied. Book 1, Chapter 32. 8 hours. It took 8 hours for them to safely remove the knife and fix any damage in his chest. By the time the doctor told them he was out of surgery, Rosalie was beyond exhausted. Everyone watched her with concern as she tried staying awake. Rosalie, why don't you go and rest? He won't be awake for another few hours. You've been running between your brother and him for the past 8 hours. And right after fighting. Look, you need to let your wolf heal you. Felicity whispered, frowning at the she-wolf. Rosalie sighed in defeat. But I want to be here when he wakes up. I know, but you need your rest. He'll understand. Plus, he would want you to be healthy and not almost passing out, Felicity pointed out. Rosalie smiled at her before nodding in agreement and slowly getting up. Catherine and Felicity quickly helped her to Dimitri's room. They just reached it when she passed out. Both women grabbed her and gently laid her on the bed. They wrapped the blankets around her and sighed. "Why don't we stay here and watch her, just in case anything happens? That leader wants her," Catherine suggested. Felicity nodded. "I'm going to clean up the room while she sleeps." When Rosalie woke up, the women told her that Dimitri wasn't awake yet. She sighed and stretched her sore muscles. She then climbed out of bed and strode over to the bathroom. "I'm going to take a shower so I can feel somewhat clean," she told them. "All right, I'll grab you some clothes," Felicity said before leaving. "I'm going to grab some food. Want some?" Catherine asked. Rosalie shook her head. "I'm feeling sick to my stomach as it is. Food won't be good." Catherine chuckled. "I can tell you're going into heat. When we go and see Dimitri, I'll make sure Damon isn't in the room, since he is an unmated male." "Thank you." After her shower, she took a sip of ginger ale and followed the women to the infirmary. When they reached his room, Damon was sound asleep on the couch. "He won't do anything. Her scent isn't very strong, and it's not completely different yet," Xander assured them. "Do you think he'll ever meet his mate?" Xavier asked, glancing at Damon. Catherine shrugged. "I don't know. He's awfully sour when it comes to that topic. I'm not willing to ask." "Now that you've mentioned it, he hates being asked about finding his mate," Felicity voiced. Xander frowned. "That's weird." Rosalie watched the family members talk before looking at Damon. "Why do you think he hates talking about his mate?" she asked softly. Xavier sighed. "Wish we knew. He's had a pretty bad childhood. His teen years were worse." Rosalie sat down. "I'm up for a story. Our dad wasn't the nicest guy around. He didn't abuse us, but he did ignore Damon. He would always make him feel as if he couldn't do anything right. So Damon started to become distant. It wasn't until he was 13 did we find out about the depression. We tried getting him help, but every time we tried, he would run away. Our father eventually told us to give up on him, that he's a mistake. Our mother, on the other hand, never did. She tried and tried getting through to him, but he would ignore her. When he turned 18, he overdosed on drugs." Xander explained. Rosalie frowned. "Can drugs hurt us the same way they hurt humans?" Xander nodded. "The only creatures immune to them are vampires." "I see. Anyway, we found him in the forest just in time. He went into a 3-month coma. When he woke up, he just broke. He cried and cried. He never stopped apologizing to our mother. When our father came in and started crying and telling him to never do that again, he was shocked. He scared us. Our father made sure he was happy after that. It took a while for him to reconnect with his wolf, but he eventually did when he turned 25. He's good now, I guess." Rosalie looked at Damon with pity. "Maybe we can find someone for him. If his mate rejected him, then maybe we can find her and convince her he's not a bad guy." "Not gonna happen. She hates me." They all turned to see Damon laying on the couch, watching them. He sighed and slowly sat up, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. "It doesn't matter now," he murmured. Rosalie frowned. "Doesn't matter. She's your mate. Who is she?" "I'm not telling you. Damon, who is she?" He swallowed. "Rachel." "As in, the Rachel who pissed off Dimitri?" He nodded. "Yeah." "Wow, she's more of a bitch than I thought," Catherine commented. Rosalie growled. "Tell me if he starts waking up. I'm going to have a talk with Rachel." Book 1, Chapter 33. It didn't take Rosalie long to find Rachel. Without any explanation, she grabbed her by the hair and dragged her into a guest room. "What the hell? I know you hate me, but why did you reject Damon?" Rosalie snapped. Rachel paled. "What? Damon Black. You rejected him. Why?" "Because he's all over you. He attacked me at that meeting, and I don't want to be a third choice," she growled. Rosalie blinked. "Wait, you thought Dimitri was Damon?" "Did you not hear me say Dimitri?" "I thought that was his middle name. That crazy woman told me." "What crazy woman?" "I don't know her name. It was Christy or something," Rachel exclaimed. Rosalie pinched the bridge of her nose. "Okay, please explain this whole thing to me. Right now, my life is filled with so many twists. Twizzlers are probably jealous." Rachel raised an eyebrow before sighing. "A few weeks after I met Damon, I wanted to be friends. I didn't want to rush into a relationship, and he agreed. Well, I was running in the forest when I met that Christy woman, and she told me his full name was Damon Dimitri Black, and that he's the alpha of this pack. I didn't understand why she told me, but she did. She also told me about his ex-mate, Christine, and how he's dating you. Long story short, when I saw him with you and hanging all around you, I lost it. I brought up her as a way to hurt him, and you know what happened after. Is that good enough? Rosalie groaned. Dimitri is Damon's twin. What? Damon isn't Dimitri. Dimitri's full name is Dimitri Xander Black, and Christy is most likely Christine. Damon wants you and only you. Is this why you hate me? Rachel gulped. Maybe. Rosalie sighed and smiled softly at her. Rachel, Damon loves you, believe it or not. He has had one tough life and deserves a happy ending. His happy ending is you and only you. He's your mate. You need each other. I just fucked up, Rachel groaned. Rosalie laughed. Come on, where are we going? To see your boo. Oh God, don't call him that, Rosalie smirked. Seriously? I have a new reason to hate you, Rachel joked. Rosalie laughed. I have feeling we could be good friends if we don't kill each other over our boyfriends. Rachel chuckled. Goddess, whoever is writing our life stories just loves messing with us and throwing so many twists into mine. Rosalie grinned. When they reached the hospital room, she dragged Rachel in and made her stand before a stunned Damon. You two are going to talk. It's all Christine's fault, Rosalie briefly explained before shoving them out of the room. She sighed and smiled. That went well. Okay, what did Christine do? Catherine asked. Rosalie sighed, told Rachel that Damon was Dimitri and that I'm his girlfriend, and Rachel got jealous. She didn't tell me when she rejected him, but I had a feeling it was a nasty fight. Xavier raised an eyebrow. Christine is trying to destroy you and Dimitri, it seems. Oh, she did, Rosalie replied. Their eyes widened. How did she destroy you guys? I thought you loved each other, Felicity shrieked. Rosalie laughed. I meant, she tried. Don't do that, Felicity scolded, gently slapping her on the shoulder. Damn it, women, stop yelling. I want to sleep more. They all looked over to see a pouting Dimitri. Rosalie grinned and ran over. Almost tripping over her own feet, she gently hugged him, earning a chuckle from him. Hey, shh, I'm okay, he soothed as she began to cry. You scared me, you stupid dildo, she cried. Xavier burst out laughing. Dildo? Seriously? Rosalie smirked. Yes, dildo, alpha dildo. Do not call me alpha dildo, ever. Dimitri grunted. Rosalie looked at him. Is that a challenge, dildo? No, challenger accepted. So when's the next alpha meeting? Dimitri paled. No. Rosalie smiled evilly as she kissed him on the cheek. Oh, yes. Book 1, Chapter 34. Okay, so Christine told Rachel that Damon was me? Dimitri asked as he stared at the green jello. Rosalie nodded. Yeah, I showed a picture to Rachel just to make sure the Christie woman was actually Christine. I don't understand why she's so obsessed. That's easy, she wants the pack, Dimitri replied. Speaking of which, I'm going to send out a few spies to find out where this leader is. I want to end this permanently, which means killing the leader. So, we're going to have a huge fight? Unfortunately. I'm still working out the plan. Xander and Xavier are going to send their betas as the spies. Rosalie sighed as she sat back in the chair. She didn't like this. She didn't like the fact that innocent wolves were going to be injured because the leader wants her. She pursed her lips as an idea formed in her head, an idea Dimitri won't like, at all. You're not sending spies, she stated. He frowned. What? I'll go. I'll act as if I'm willingly giving myself up to him. While I'm there, I'll sneak out and... Rose, you don't even know if he'll lock you up or not. Besides, you're not going anyway. Their betas are capable of handling themselves. I'm an alpha, Dimitri. I can handle myself just as well. But you'll be all alone, he pointed out. She sighed. Okay, maybe I could find a weak link, someone who doesn't want to work for him. And if you don't? She bit her lip. I obey him. I make him trust me. Then I kill him. Dimitri shook his head. No, I'm not losing you to some pisco. Rosalie groaned. But I don't multiple innocent lives put at risk. Rose, no matter what, innocent lives will be at risk. We're werewolves, it happens, whether it's a crazy rogue leader or an envious pack, Dimitri stated calmly. You're too important to die. He wanted you dead in that attack. He'll kill you the second he can put his hands on you. She looked down and nodded, knowing there was no arguing with him. Dimitri sighed, running a hand through his hair. He looked at her. I'm going to speak with Christine once I'm better. Once I get my answers and know they're true, I'll kill her. The pack will be able to finally get justice for the betrayal of their ex, Luna. he whispered. Rosalie looked up and frowned. She got up and crawled into the hospital bed. Carefully, she laid beside him. What if he decides to attack early? Your pack could meet the same fate as my old one, she asked. He smiled softly at her. If I have faith in my path to kill the council, I know they can easily kill a pack of idiotic rogues. For the next 4 days, Rosalie stayed by Dimitri's side as he healed. She showered every night before crawling into the hospital bed and sleeping beside him. After he was finally released, he immediately started planning. He and his brothers decided on sending the 2 betas as spies and finding out the leader's whereabouts and plans. Rosalie was still unhappy about it, but after talking with Felicity and Catherine, she knew she had no choice but to agree with it. None of the women were happy about it, but it was the only safer way, unless they wanted to risk losing Rosalie forever. And they all knew Dimitri was far from willing to do that. Book 1, Chapter 35. Rosalie, did you see my phone anywhere? Dimitri called from the bathroom. Rosalie looked up and smirked. No. He walked out of the bathroom and raised an eyebrow. So, you don't know where it is? No, might be in the kitchen. Uh-huh. So why is it in your lap? Rosalie bit her lip before shoving the phone into her bra and running off. She laughed as he chased after her, calling her name. When she reached a dead end, she skidded to a halt and spun around, her eyes wide. Dimitri stopped and smirked at her. Dead end, darling, he whispered. Rosalie swallowed. She then smirked. You're not going to get your phone. I'm not giving it to you. Oh? Is that so? Yes, I could easily grab it, you know. She gulped. You wouldn't put your hand in my bra. You seem so confident in that thought. When he finally reached her, he rested his hands on her hips. Look a minute. She shook as their eyes met. He smiled and started to slowly trail his hand along her body. She bit the inside of her cheek, trying to ignore the moan. He suddenly stopped as she felt his phone being slipped out of her bra. She opened her eyes to see him smirking at her. Bastard! She grumbled as she fixed her shirt. He chuckled. Told you I would get my phone. She rolled her eyes. Before looking down, she grinned. As she walked past him, she clapped him on the shoulder. Good luck getting rid of that, she whispered, pointing at his pants. He paled. Fuck. Hurry to the meeting once you're fixed up. We need to figure out how to get the spies into the rogue's home or whatever, she called. Dimitri groaned. Can't you at least help me? I am. I'm planning with you, aren't I? She asked, stopping at the other end of the hall. He sighed and pointed at his pants. I meant with this. She smirked. That's your punishment. For what? Last time I checked, you've been doing nothing but trying to have sex with me all night. I don't know. I'll tell you when I come up with something. And for your information, I'm in heat. I tend to do perverted things. Rosalie. Dimitri. Stop that. Stop what? Just, never mind. He grumbled, frustrated. She sighed and walked back over to him. Go take a cold shower. I'll tell them you'll be a little late. He sighed. Can't you just... I am not giving you a... No, not that. I need you to cover me as we make our way back to the bedroom, he whispered. Oh, yeah. As they ran back to the room, she made sure no one could see evidence of their heated moment in the empty hall. Luckily, they only passed a maid who wasn't paying attention. When they finally reached their room, he slammed the door shut and sprinted into the bathroom. When we mate, you are so getting it, he yelled from the shower. Rosalie smirked as she sat on the bed. I'm looking forward to it. Book 1, Chapter 36. I don't like this, Rosalie stated as they watched the 2 betas disappear into the forest. Dimitri sighed. He wrapped his arm around her waist and pulled her towards the house. I know, but it's the safest way, he replied. Rosalie knew he was right. She had thought about the choice of going herself. If she turned herself over and he killed her, then he could still attack Dimitri's pack. The thought of Sage and Sara getting killed or surviving but losing their father caused her heart to break. She didn't want those girls go through that, not when she can stop it. As they walked inside, Dimitri went to his office and she visited her brother. Ever since he had arrived in the infirmary, he has been in a coma. She didn't like seeing him go fragile and vulnerable, but at least he was safe. When she walked into the hospital room, she was shocked to see Cyrus sitting there. He snapped his head up and smiled softly at her. Good evening, he greeted. She smiled. Good evening. Question. When he's fully recovered, And this whole thing is over? Is he going to become alpha if the pack? Rosalie nodded. If he wants to. If not, then I'll become alpha again. What about you and Dimitri? If we're fully mated by then the packs will be combined permanently. She replied, taking a seat. Cyrus nodded. I'm leaving tonight, he stated. She looked up. You are? Yeah, I'm not much of a help here and I've always wanted to travel. What about the pack? Rose, Dimitri is in charge of them now, and after this is all over, either your brother will lead them or you and Dimitri. But you need to fight with them. Cyrus sighed. I can't, not anymore. Not anymore? I lost my wolf, he whispered. Rosalie stared at him with surprise. How? He shrugged. Don't know. I can't speak to him. I can't feel him and I can't shift. What good would I be besides getting in the way? You, Dimitri, and his brothers can handle this. I guess so. He smiled sadly at her before walking over and kneeling in front of her. I love you, he stated. I'll never stop loving you until I meet my second love. You have Dimitri now, and I know he'll keep you safe. I've already spoken to him about this, and he agreed. I'll call once a week to let you and the others know I'm safe. You never know, I might call you one day and tell you I'm engaged or something. He chuckled. He cupped her cheek. Dimitri is good for you. He needs you, and you need him. Goodbye, Rosalie. She smiled and kissed him on the cheek. Goodbye, Cyrus. She listened as he walked away and closed the door behind him. She sighed and looked back at her sleeping brother. He's something else, she told the sleeping form. Book 1, Chapter 37. Rosalie walked down the hall until she reached Dimitri's office. She sighed and opened the door, not bothering to knock. She bit back a laugh when she saw him out cold, his head resting on the desk. She quietly closed the door and walked over. Dimitri? She voiced, gently shaking him. He grumbled something before curling up in the chair and resting his head on the arm of the chair. She shook her head before looking at the papers on his desk. She furrowed her eyebrows at a letter that had his name written at the top. She glanced at him, then picked it up. Dimitri, I would write that I miss you, but I don't. I'm only writing to you to tell you that I want 12 million in my bank account, or I'll take the twins. I'm sure you don't want to lose the only two people that actually care about you. With hate, Christine. She placed it back on the desk and frowned. Anger bubbled in her chest at the thought of that woman. She turned back around to see Dimitri watching her. Are you naturally this nosy? He asked tiredly. She gulped and looked down. I saw it and was curious and read it. He nodded but didn't say anything else. She pursed her lips and looked at him. She's a bitch, she blurted out. He raised an eyebrow and chuckled. That she is. He sighed as he sat up. He stretched before standing and running his hand through his hair. He stared at the letter with a torn expression. I was going through old papers when I found it. I used to read it to remind myself that my mate, the one woman who was supposed to love me forever, would never be mine again. I stopped reading it and caring about her after. He sighed and shook his head. Rosalie watched as he tore it up and threw it in the garbage. I guess the fates hated me, he mumbled. She frowned. I don't see how. You're a great man. Great man, he scoffed. I've killed, slaughtered thousands of people, human and supernatural. What great man I am. Dimitri. He let out a bemused laugh. You know, I deserve it too. For all the shit I put my family through once I became alpha. I deserve every fucking piece of bad luck thrown my way. He sighed as tears ran down his face. No, I'm not a great man. I'm a monster. Book 1, Chapter 38. You're not a monster, she whispered. Dimitri looked at her, his eyes cold. I kill people for entertainment. How is that not being a monster? You're just blinded by your attraction towards me. Attraction? I'm in love with you? Don't, he hissed. No more lying. She frowned. Confusion took place as he completely ignored her. She had no idea what was happening. She was scared. This side of Dimitri was completely different from the drunk, goofy side and the angry side. Is he having a mental breakdown? Her wolf mumbled. I don't know, she replied. I'm going with, he's just mental. That's hot. That is not hot. Just shut up. Rosalie clenched her jaw and took a step forward. What is your issue? She snapped. He looked at her with a smirk. The real Dimitri isn't all that attractive, huh? What the hell do you mean? This is the real me, Rosalie, a drunk. I drink when I'm upset, when I want to have fun for an escape. You're an alcoholic, Rosalie cut in. He sighed. Glad you caught on. And just because of that you think I no longer love you? She questioned. He hummed his response along with a nod. She shook her head. You're an idiot. He froze. He didn't turn or say anything. He just stood there. She took this as a hint to continue. I'm in love with you. Your flaws don't scare me. You're not pushing me away. Ever. He grunted in response before swinging open a cabinet. Do you know why I drink, my little Rosalie? He mused in a mocking tone. She folded her arms across her chest. And why is that? I can't handle the stress. None of it. I'm completely insane and there's no cure for it. Quite amusing if you ask me. He smirked before taking a shot of vodka. You can get help, you know, she whispered. He chuckled. I know. Then why aren't you seeking it? It's simple. I don't want to. She stood there, bewildered. She couldn't fathom on how this all began, but she knew one thing. This is out of nowhere. For the month she's been here, she hasn't seen him get this drunk. Sure, he was drunk after a night with his brothers, but he wasn't upset then. Something, deep down, is hurting him. She thought as she continued to watch him. He hummed to himself as he went through more letters and glasses of whiskey. You're hurting, she stated. He looked at her. What? You're hurting. You're not doing this because you're stressed. It's because you're in pain. Is it because of Ch? Before she could finish the woman's name, he had her pinned against the wall. His eyes were black and his breath reeked of whiskey and vodka. Don't say her name. Ever again. He snarled. Rosalie clawed at his hand, trying to escape his grip so she could breathe. What the fuck is your problem? This isn't you. She gasped out. He laughed and let go of her. It is darling, behold the true Dimitri Black. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she stared at him. She slowly stood up and clasped her hands together. You're still in love with her, she murmured. You desire her touch, her love, her beauty, everything. That's your secret desire, Dimitri, Christine. He didn't say anything. He only continued to stare at the ground. She looked over to see more letters from her on his desk. She shook her head. Good night, Dimitri, she said before leaving. As she walked down the hall, she could hear the shatter of a glass as he threw it against the office wall. Book 1, Chapter 39. The next morning, Rosalie stayed in her bed, not wanting to even see Dimitri. She decided that she would no longer share a room with him. He lied to her. He assured her that he was over Christine, that she was good enough for him. But he lied. She pushed Cyrus away, rejected him, and allowed him to leave, all for the one man who loved someone else. It hurt. It crushed her heart to know that he would never love her. She sighed as she rolled over in her bed. Cyrus would have been the wiser choice, she thought bitterly. It wasn't until 5 in the afternoon when she finally left her room. She walked down to the kitchen and froze. Sitting there was Dimitri. He had a faraway look in his eyes as he stared at a glass of water. She bit her lip. She was tempted to walk away, but her stomach chose that moment to growl. The sound had earned the attention of Dimitri, whose eyes lit up. She masked her own emotions and ignored him. She could feel him watching her as she searched through the fridge. Her wolf was telling her to talk to him, but she didn't want to. She couldn't. She knew the truth. She didn't need to know its details. Rosalie? He whispered as she turned to leave. She stopped. Do you love her? He didn't answer. I'm not going to ask again, Alpha Black, she snarled. His breathing hitched as those words left her mouth. I don't know. Well, let me know when you do. With that, she walked back up to her room, not wanting to look at him or even be near him. That night, she could hear him breaking things in his office, then his bedroom. She didn't care, though. She simply shoved earplugs into her ears and went to sleep. It continued like this for a week. The only time they were in the same room together was when they had to talk about the rogue leader. By Sunday, the spies told them the leader's location and what he was planning. Even though Rosalie was completely ignoring Dimitri, he still refused to hand her over. She was confused the whole week. He told her he loved her. He kissed her, teased her, did everything a boyfriend does, only to turn around and drown himself in alcohol, then not even knowing if he loved Christine still. Her heart was torn in pieces. Even when his family members tried talking to her, she refused. All she wanted now was to leave, to take her brother and her pack and leave. It was slowly killing her. Every day she felt more empty. After the third day of not speaking, Dimitri stopped trying to talk to her. He didn't even look at her. She also found out that he was visiting Christine a lot during the week. She felt betrayed, to say the least. She sighed as she stared at the moonlit forest, marveling its beauty. After a while, she smiled and decided that run is what she could really use. She quietly left the pack house, making sure no one saw her. Once she knew she was safe, she shifted and took off. She sprinted through the forest, not caring about her surroundings. As she ran, she cried and howled, releasing all her pain. For hours on end, she ran. Not once did she stop. By the time she felt worn out, she collapsed next to a tree, empty of energy and emotion. It took her a minute to realize she was no longer on Dimitri's territory. Matter of fact, she had absolutely no idea where she was. She sniffed the air and relaxed as she recognized the scent of her old pack. She got up and shook out her fur before walking in the direction of her old pack house. She almost laughed at herself. Her old territory was at least a 2-hour drive from Dimitri's place. She could only imagine how long she has been running for. She didn't bother to shift back as she entered the pack house. She was too exhausted to care. She finally shifted back and ran up the stairs to her old room. She searched through her drawers for the little clothing she had left behind. After she was dressed, she sighed and collapsed onto her bed. Fresh tears rolled down her cheeks. What am I even doing with myself? She thought aloud. Book 1, Chapter 40. Are you fucking kidding me? Rosalie shot up in the bed to see a fuming Dimitri. He stormed into her room and stood over her bed, arms folded across his chest. She clenched her jaw and looked away from him. What do you want? She snarled. He sighed. Do you know how fucking scared I've been? No one could find you. And after how you've been acting all week, I thought you. He trailed off, pain evident in his voice. She scoffed. Oh, you care? Rosalie, what the hell is your problem? I'm sorry I was drunk. I'm sorry I... Nothing. Now fuck off. She spat. He growled. No, you're coming back to the pack house with me. No, I'm not. Not right now, at least. Damn it, Rose, I'm not in the mood. You can hate me when we get back. I ran all morning and got hit by a damn truck. I would love to go home and sleep. He snapped. Did the truck do any serious damage? She suddenly asked. He frowned. No. Well, that sucks. Do you mind getting hit by a truck again? Maybe 4 more times. I get it. You hate me. I don't want you being out here alone. Got it? Now come on. No. Rosalie, I said. No. She screamed, tears pooled in her eyes. I can't stand being in the same house as you. I don't want to be anywhere near you. Last week you did nothing but cheat and hang with Christine. Did you know you held me by my throat? That fucking hurt, for your information. Don't you get it? I hate you. He stared at her. His face lost its color and hurt shined in his eyes. She didn't care, though, not after how he had treated her. You have no right to come here and demand me to come back and act as if you suddenly care again. Just leave me alone. She whispered. He swallowed. I wasn't hanging with her. What? I killed her. Rosalie froze as she looked at him. He looked down. She wouldn't give me any answers, so I executed her in front of the pack. He whispered. She had no idea what to say. She was bewildered. He clenched his jaw and ran his hand through his hair. I'm sorry, he murmured as he looked at her. She frowned at him before looking away. Oh, was all she could say. It was silent for a few seconds until she looked at him. Are you sure you're okay? Getting hit by a truck isn't exactly good. He didn't look at her as he nodded. I'm fine. She still didn't believe him and got up. He stiffened as she started to inspect him. She nodded in satisfaction when she saw he wasn't injured. She then took a step back and looked down. Are we leaving? She asked quietly. Holy shit, he's naked and he's fucking huge, she thought as she waited for his answer. And I'm the pervert, her wolf grumbled sarcastically. Rosalie ignored her as Dimitri nodded and started to lead her out. The run was extremely quiet, except for the part where they passed the truck that had hit Dimitri. And she scolded him for not being careful. When they returned to the pack house, he gave her a shirt and waited for her to shift back. She silently followed him, but stopped when he suddenly turned around. He sighed. As for your answer, I don't love her. Then he walked inside and left her standing there.